Namaste, Jai Bharat. Gen Z is a concept that is getting repeated, spoken over and over again. Well, the question of Gen Z, the time, is not a knife edge. Yesterday, if given this definition, everyone was Gen Z yesterday. And tomorrow, these Gen Zs will cease to be Gen Zs. You cannot adamantly stick on to a knife edge, though quite a few people might want to do it, and some even keep doing it. That's one thing. In my younger days, I was born in 1956. In my younger days, what negatives used to attach, attract. Negativity had often attracted youth, young minds are by and large free. They have free space in their minds. Data, other things have not got stuffed into. Information is much less. So whatever comes prima facie attractive, they get attracted. In my younger days, iconoclasm was the in thing. Iconoclasm. Rebelling was normal. Rebelling was natural. Going against the establishment. Going against the establishment was little more than normal, but little less than abnormal. But iconoclasm in our days goes to the zenith. Destruction of the previous. They have these wonderful words in English: obsolete, obsolescence. They were using it profusely and continuously to lure restless young minds. Young minds are restless because content is less. The surface makes a lot of movement. They get lured into. So we have had that kind of experience. And leftism was fashion. I've seen people using red book under their armpits, or at least a red bind under the armpit. Anyone who goes to colleges, those days a graduate was something. Someone is doing a BA was something. And they were often towards the tendency of rebelling, not like what is a liberals today, rebelling and almost stepping into the frame of iconoclasm, destruction of idols, Maybe at somewhere inadvertently there must have been an influence of the theory of idols of Francis Bacon for those who had read more. Such people hardly existed at that time. Those who read it into higher level. Normally graduation used to be everything. Post-graduation was rare phenomenon. Very few used to go to do post-graduation, because with graduation they used to get settled. And going for a PhD was very, very, very rare. So the influence of Francis Bacon's theory of idols, idols of the state, that's hegemony. Idols of the tribe, hegemony. Hegemony is a word I am borrowing from Gramsci. Bacon and others used ideology to stand for hegemony. Because the ideology is confusing, so I am using hegemony. Idols of the tribe, idols of the marketplace, idols of the cave, etc. They were controlling. So that such tendency used to be there then also. But then there is one difference which I see now. I am comparing this with the cockroach people, cockroach parties movement. That's what made me think in this direction now. There's one thing with us. See, from the houses, we used to have grandparents. For all questions, they had time to answer. And the bearing of dharma was somehow, somewhere, very powerful. We had some vague understanding about dharma, adharma. Well, in English, righteousness and not what is not right. The dharma is the most appropriate word, and adharma is also most appropriate word. So we had that, though used not the real name, dharma was not that explicitly or that commonly used, but the sense of dharma remained. It's not proper, it's not right to do so. See, with all the influence of that time, Marxism was something. The inherent contradictions of Marxism was not known to us. We thought that's the equality, all those things, these to attract us. And iconoclasm was always very attractive. But then what did not turn us into iconoclasts is the very powerful, latent but very powerful presence of dharma within us. That used to somehow prevent things. So, somehow we could escape much of negativity. Not that we have completely escaped such negativity, but even at that time, by and large, serious mistakes were hardly committed. And of course, with age, like my professor used to say, at the age of 18, 19, 20, if you are a communist, it's normal, and after 25, if you still continue to be a communist, that becomes abnormal. That used to be his expression. Well, which makes sense. Even at that age, it used to make sense. That was in postgraduate classes he was talking so. So Gen Z, this today's cockroach party, I don't call them as Gen Z. This Gen Z was always there. Every point there were people like this. But these cockroach parties, language, talks, vulgarity, this is unthinkable. Even if you go back to my that age, in this present time, in the Jantar Mantar, whatever they are doing, suppose I, without this understanding of my later life, with the understanding of 18 years boy or 19 years boy, if I am put to this Jantar Mantar, I would have been very disappointed by the way they use such language, and look at the way these people. I don't want to even speak about it. Some other day I heard a young girl in tears because of the words used against my Prime Minister. It offends every genuine Hindu, every genuine Indian. I normally don't use the word Indian, I use the word Bharatiya. Every genuine Bharat, that offends. And had it been my younger days, I would have been very offended, very annoyed, to the extent of no action over action. That could have been quite possible. Such language. So you put me, my 18 years, but 18 years or 19 years maturity, if I could transport myself to Jantar Mantar and such language, I would have gone both deaf and blind. That is absolutely unthinkable. Well, maybe that kind of sanskara at that time. And here, don't tell that these youngsters have no sanskara today. They have. Perhaps more intensely, or more vibrantly than what we used to have at their age, because they have a lot of information available to them we never had. With this information, their sanskara would be much richer than what I used to have in their age. You can't expect such people to stand there and take this. Well, we lived a life. We have seen many governments in our nation, Bharat, and we were disappointed at many points in time, and we were also happy at many points in time. Disappointments were so harsh, so painful to any nationalist at that time, my age. It's now from 2014 that we see positive governance, positive government. Such a wonderful team. There would be mistakes, of course. I personally know that there is corruption at some level. But I have seen larger corruption. Now perhaps it is much less. I would appoint you as a vice chancellor given this much of money. Someone came and told me some time back. Then that I was within the age. I was just retired. That was not thinkable to me. Even if somebody sponsored me, gave that much of money, I would not have gone for that. Because the conscience had been so patterned in the past, we can't afford to do mistake. Problem is, can't look at the mirror after doing mistakes, your own face. And can't talk to your children. Can't tell them many things once you yourself are at fault. Being conscientious and conscious, conscience, these things wouldn't let you do things, and that is dharma. An act of adharma we just can't do and we want to. We have seen the government. Present people, they do not know. They are incapable of comparing the past because they are ignorant about the past. And in the past also, there were unwanted interference from outside to destabilize and destroy us. It was always there. Even now it is there, but more organized, more funded, more structured. And they become victims of this. Youngsters are becoming victims of this. They do not know what they are doing. They do not understand what they are doing. Words that may be from people like me, they wouldn't want to listen. The power of negative is at play. It's disappointing, but at the same time, other positivity is very promising. Very promising. Things are not bad. In spite of all these things, things are better. And things are going in very positive direction. We shall meet. I spoke more. Should not have spoken so much. But little emotional when it comes to nation. We shall meet. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Shri Ram.